Gwaltney Group RE Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE Results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning, it's Andy Brownell, News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM with Robin Gwaltney. Gwaltney Group RE Results. Happy New Year, Robin.
Well, Happy New Year to you as well.
I'm glad it's 2021.
2021. But you know what? I don't know if you've probably done the same over the past few days, watching all the little specials they put on TV with like the inspirational photos from 2020. And it wasn't all bad. You know,
No.
There was a lot of good humanity that shines through in times of trouble. And I love that.
Yeah, it's the nature of the biz, the news biz, because I always tell this story that if news started reporting good news, we'd be in real trouble.
Right.
Because the anomaly is the bad news, and that's what gets reported. The good stuff is happening all of the time.
Yes, it is. And that's a good way to look at it. It's an absolutely good way to look at it. Because there is lots of good out there, and it's important to focus on that. And I think everybody's on the same page where they're going to look at 2021 as a new, fresh beginning after, a year of a lot of turmoil. And I think if everybody's in that mindset that it's going to be better, it will be better.
So there we go. Let's start out that way right now. So,
I like it.
This week, I have to thank you. You helped out a family member this week, and it's the kind of thing that we've talked about on this show before that you offer up as a service. I'm talking with my sister on the phone because we weren't able to get together for Christmas, and she is trying to refinance her house, and it wasn't going well. And she's trying to tell me this story, and in my brain the whole time I kept going, "Oh, I know who to call."
Aww.
And I go, "Why are you dealing with this? I don't think it has to be this complicated." And she goes, "Well, this is this person. This person is in Montana, for crying out loud."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, can I call somebody for you? And hopefully we can make something work." And of course, right away the next morning, I got a hold of Robin. And you perform your magic, and you connected my sister with a different lender, and
one of our preferred partners. And I tell you, it makes all the difference in the world, because when we have these lenders who know what they're doing, it's like night and day. I mean, you talk about needing somebody that's really, really good at their job. And of course, in Rochester, we think about doctors and surgeons. But I will tell you that it is so important to work with bankers who know their business night and day.
yeah, so she's super grateful as well. So thank you very much, Robin. Yeah,
of course. I think it's important for people to understand that, granted, your sister is here in Minnesota, and so we were able to use a local lender, but it doesn't even matter. We have such a great network of top performing agents throughout the country, and they all know the best bankers and lenders in their areas. So no matter where you're trying to relocate, maybe you're not moving at all. Maybe you just want hunting land in Alabama. Whatever it is, there is somebody out there that can help you, and I'm absolutely a direct link to that person.
And you especially, since you're connected to that top 100 group, right?
Yeah. And so, I do know the top performing. Well, I'm in actually a Zoom call every Tuesday morning with the CEO of RE/MAX and the COO of RE/MAX and the top 1% of the agents across the country. So there's a lot of good ideas shared, but also I get to know these people personally. So they're not all... everybody has a different business style, and some are a little too salesperson-y for me. It works for them and they're successful, but they're not who I would refer a client to. I tend to refer to the people that are going to give excellent service and take great care of the customer. And I shouldn't insinuate that those people won't, but I like that to be what I sense about them.
Sure.
So you get to know the people, and it helps when it's a client of mine that calls me, because I'm good at matching personalities with people as well. So typically when I do refer somebody, just recently we had a friend, a chiropractor in town, retire and move to Florida, and we set him up with an agent that we knew down there, and oh my gosh, he has thanked me. Oh, we love her. We just love her. We're going to have her over to dinner, and So I'm like, that's the way it should be. I love it.
Well, yeah, and it makes such a difference for the person who's going, because it's one of the more stressful things you can do. Moving, selling, and buying, and to have this person like you who can guide you through this and take care of a lot of the stuff that causes the stress.
Right, and because yes, there's going to be a certain level of stress, but it shouldn't be a heavy stress. It should just be yes, this is these are just serious decisions we're making. We're investing a lot of money. We're making decisions that are going to affect our life. But as long as you have proper guidance, it shouldn't cause you horrible stress.
Especially if it's somebody that you really trust.
Yeah. I actually sold a house this New Year's Eve day to a incoming surgeon, and they're out of state, her and her husband, and we just did a virtual showing, and we're able to write the contract, and they're thanking me over and over for being so helpful, and I'm thinking, thank you for trusting in me. And they only worked with me because the physician that hired them had worked with me and referred me. So it's so good to take care of the customers and build relationships, because it just leads to more business. And it's the way I like to get business, when somebody has referred me and that person knows exactly what they can expect once they work with us.
Yeah. It's all, I can imagine that's got to be gratifying to have
my favorite part.
So how does that work when a person comes in? Do you do the walkthrough for them, and are you the eyes on the ground? How does that work?
Yeah, so what'll happen is now the next step is we'll do the inspection. They literally have not been to the house at all. They came. Actually, she came to town when she did her interview with Mayo, and I showed her around at that time. And I spent about 4 hours with her showing her different neighborhoods, and she was very quick to pick out where she wanted to live. She's like, this is where I want to live. So she was completely focused on Pill Hill. So that made my job easy. All I had to do was really watch what came available in Pill Hill, and as they came available, just send them to her by email. And when she sees them, she's like, okay, you know what, this one I'd like you to go check out. It happened to be a house that I had been in with another customer. So I said, oh yeah, I love the house, I've been in it, I'll be happy to go over there. So I just went over and we did it was actually awesome, because instead of doing a typical FaceTime, we did a Zoom call, because the wife was at work, the husband was working from home, and they wanted their daughter, who I assume was about 8 years old, to be on the Zoom call as well. And it was so precious, because she would say to me, excuse me, Miss Robin, can you go back to that pink bedroom and show me? Oh, it was so darn cute. And then she decided that the master bedroom was the room, the 7-year-old or 8-year-old decided that would be the room she wanted.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought they could work that out between them. But anyway, so now the next step will be the inspection, and the inspector will go. I will meet him there. We won't be FaceTime with them during that time unless there's something that he wants to point out.
Sure.
But otherwise, he'll do a full report with photos and descriptions and send it to them, and then invite them to call him to discuss it. And then if there's anything they want to ask for, that came up in that inspection, then of course we would ask for it at that time. And as long as the seller's willing to do it, then we come to agreement, and then we move forward. And then the next time they see the house will actually be when they come to do the final walkthrough and closing.
And time to move in at that point.
They're going to close in April and not move in until a little bit after that.
Oh,
but
okay.
Anyway, just they know that the inventory in Pill Hill doesn't come along as frequently as it does in some neighborhoods, and actually in this market it doesn't come very frequently in any neighborhoods. But they're smart, and they've bought a lot of houses, and they know that when what they're looking for comes along, then the best idea is to buy it.
Time to move. Yep.
Exactly.
It's not a Harold Crawford house, is it, up there?
This one is not, but there are a lot of those, and those are really awesome. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of really beautiful homes in that part of the city. That's for sure.
It's so much character and charm.
Yeah. For sure. We have to take a break already, Robin. We'll continue talking with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on our first show of 2021. In just a moment here on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
From the kennel to the coop, whatever the season, Fleet Farm.
Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. It's Andy Brownell with Robin Gwaltney. Gwaltney Group RE Results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Just a few moments ago, Robin, you kind of referenced that inventory remains a challenge. Do you see any change on the horizon?
Hopefully these vaccinations are going to give people some courage to go ahead and put their house on the market, because I know there are some people that have held off just based on the fact that they want COVID behind us. And I get that vaccinations starting does not put COVID behind us, but I think it does give people some confidence that the end is in sight.
Yeah.
So hopefully, maybe not January, maybe not even February, but hopefully by March, we will see more and more listings coming on the market. I mean, I looked at how we did, year over year, and it was not horribly different. For instance, January of 2019, there were 375 new listings, and January of 2020, there were 361. So it was down a little. And then 393 in February to actually 460 in 2020. So it was up, but things were looking really good. And March was the same, 639 new listings in March of 19 with 707 new listings in March of 2020. So we were on a roll.
Yeah.
And then came the big announcements at Mayo, hiring freeze, pay cuts, no elective surgeries. And then we saw it, because in April of 2019, there were 829 new listings. And in April of 2020, there were 549. So, quite a big drop.
Yeah.
And May, same, 825 in 19 to 699 in 20, 740 in June in 19 to 692. So now it starts to even out. In July of 19, it was 835 to 706 in 20. In August, it was almost identical. We had 732 new listings in 2019 with 713 new listings in 2020. And September, 688 in 19 and 642 in 2020. And October, 630 in 19 to 606. And November, 441 to 352. And then December, 267 in 19 to 281, so a few more. And I think that has to do with the fact that our whole market shifted backwards. Our spring market was in the summer, our summer market was in the fall, and we have our fall market in the winter. So I think we're just seeing more, and granted, if there were more houses available, we'd be even selling more.
Right.
Because, the buyers are there, the interest rates are fantastic, the buyers are approved and ready to jump on them, they just don't have a lot of options.
Reflecting on the numbers you just went through, I actually would have thought that the drop in April and May would have been larger than it was. So that was kind of heartening to hear. I mean, It was big, obviously. You're talking probably almost 35% or so, but I would have thought it would have been 60%. So
yeah, no, it was good. I think the sales were down, but overall, comparing one year to the next, the sales were actually up by 7%. So how do you complain about that?
that's for the whole year. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That is, a good, considering what was happening, that is actually an amazing statistic.
I think it would have been, without COVID, it probably would have been but then again, you can't really even say that, because without COVID, would the interest rates be where they are? So it all comes hand in hand, right?
Right, and also these people who found a need to move into a larger home because of what was happening. Maybe that wouldn't have happened. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can't say, oh my, what a great year we would have had if there was no COVID. Well, people wouldn't have had the same needs that they had, just like you said. They wouldn't have been moving to their cabin because they wouldn't have been granted the right to work from home, or they didn't need the extra space so that the kids could do distance learning. So it's all directly related.
Every time you think you can predict something, forget it.
Forget it.
And I think your view going forward, I'm never going to doubt your predictions, by the way, because but it makes sense too, because I do know a lot of people who there's no way that they would have considered opening up their home during this past year.
Right.
But as this eases up in the months ahead, especially here I'm amazed how many people I know already who've received the first dose.
I know, me too.
Dozens.
Isn't it exciting?
Yes.
It's so exciting. Yes, my college-age niece, because she works part-time at the hospital in Wabasha, was able to get it on like the 30th of December. I'm so excited because when she goes back to college, I just feel she's that much safer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but it takes a week or two before any immunity level.
Yeah, but she won't go back for a while.
Oh yeah, and so as that builds up steam, as more and more supply comes in, I think absolutely those folks who were kind of hunkered down and I'm not making any moves, well, start considering making moves.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And I feel like, again, I sound like a broken record, but we are so fortunate to live where we live, because being the Med City and being surrounded by so many frontline workers, if they're getting vaccinated, even if you haven't been and I haven't been, it's still a safer place for us to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we go to the grocery store and the people in line with us have been vaccinated, that's huge benefit to us.
That's, something to look forward to, that's for sure. More and more.
Yeah, I've never ever looked so forward to a shot, Andy. Usually I'm like, I don't want to go this week. Maybe next week.
Oh, it's funny too. I get people ask me, "Are you going to get?" I go, "Yeah, right."
Hello.
As soon as they offer it, I'm getting it. You better believe it.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, we have to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Robin Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results right here on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
The Minnesota Connection is brought to you by Minnesota News Network.
From Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Andy Brownell with Robin Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Happy New Year, everyone. And there's a lot more enthusiasm about this coming year than I think almost any in recent memory, at least as far as I can imagine or remember.
Talk about fresh start. Fresh start, yes. And absolutely.
And as far as real estate, which is what we're talking about, things are shaping up. I don't see storm clouds on the horizon for real estate.
You're absolutely right.
I think
we are very, very fortunate to be in this profession, and all the people who live in our community are very fortunate to be in the position to sell their houses for top dollar or buy their houses with phenomenal interest rates or whatever it is. It's just a lot of good in the real estate market for 2021.
And the messages we're getting from Washington, D.C. is concerning the interest rates it's not going to
change.
Yeah.
Not
or if it is, it's going to be very minor.
Yeah, I think they're talking, from what everything I have read says, it looks like we're talking till middle of the year in 2022 before we see any significant changes. So yes, if we see changes, they'll be minor, but it's not going to last forever. And that's a good thing, because that means that things have gotten back to normal, right? This has been clearly a positive benefit to the negative pandemic. And luckily, when the pandemic is under control and people have been vaccinated by the masses, things are going to go back to whatever the new normal looks like. And so are the interest rates. And I don't know, are they going back to 3.5%? Are they going back to 5%? I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did. But what I do know is that they are darn good right now.
Right.
And so it is definitely 2021. If you haven't made your vision board or you haven't done your year planning or whatever it is you do, I'm a huge, visual person. I set goals, I make charts, whether it's for personal things in my life or if it's for work things. I'm just very much a set my goal and meet my goal and set my goal and meet my goal kind of a person. So I love the beginning of a new year. It's always just a really invigorating time of the year for me. And I'm super excited about what I see for the real estate world this year. So
Fantastic.
I'm excited.
And I've spoken to more than a couple young people, not teenagers, but young adults who have solid work and they're still renting. I said, these interest rates, you've got to take a serious look.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
This is an opportunity you can't mess up. I mean,
and
2%.
sometimes they just don't know. They just don't know, and they don't know where to start. They don't know, who do I even call? What do I do? And it seems crazy because it's what we do. It's what I do every day, and you're very in tune to it because of our talks every week. But for some people, they really don't know where to start. So it really comes down to just call me and I can tell you, what do you do next? I actually woke up this morning to a Facebook message from one of my son's friends saying, hey, we're thinking about selling our house and we'd like to buy. We don't even know where to start. I'm like, well, you did the right thing by just reaching out. That's where you start. So they happen to know me. Maybe somebody who's listening doesn't, but I would still welcome that call and I would still be happy to give guidance. Absolutely.
And I imagine with those, you're not talking about a first-time person there, but these first-time home buyers.
It doesn't have to be first time. Sometimes people have lived in their house so long, they say, I've never sold a house, or I haven't sold a house in 20 years. I don't know where to begin.
Yeah.
And it's not something to feel embarrassed about. It's like, just call me up and let's talk through it.
Well, think about it. You're not nervous about calling your auto mechanic who has something going wrong with your car. You don't know.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's the way. But so this young person who's never done it before, this person selling who's never sold before, I imagine with the young person, what I usually hear is, well, I can't afford a house. What are you talking about? And well, how much you paying in rent?
You might be surprised. Yes, it might be less than you're paying in rent. And I just love these young entrepreneurial minds that say, you know what, I've decided I'm going to buy a house and my two roommates are going to rent from me instead of the three of us renting from the landlord. I'm like, yes. Sometimes you can have the opportunity to buy a twinplex where there's two units connected. Maybe you live in one side and rent out the other side, and that rent that you collect from the other side pays the mortgage.
That would be for a young person starting out?
It's just an optimal way to do it. I mean, there's so many great opportunities out there, and sometimes you just have to think outside the box, And I've heard people say to me, I've actually had a young guy say to me the other day, but how would I get approved for another mortgage if I already have a mortgage? I'm like, well, the difference is this time it's going to be a rental property, so they're going to count that income as additional income. Oh my gosh. And he said, I didn't know. I didn't understand that. So, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye sometimes, but there's a lot of people that come out pleasantly surprised after we talk about what it can look like.
I bet they are. And even if they're not ready this moment to...
Right. Make a plan. Like I said, I'm the woman of the plans.
So I have that conversation with Robin and start laying the foundation for where you want to be. That's what we're talking about here.
And can I just say one thing? I was so honored. Our whole team was so honored last week when this lovely community voted us as KTTC's fan favorites in the real estate category. I actually thought it was the third consecutive year, but my rep set me straight and told me it was the fourth consecutive year. So I'm so proud of that. I mean, I'm really proud of that. It means that my entire team is out there not only doing real estate and doing it majorly, they're doing it right. And it makes me super excited. So thank you to everyone who voted for us.
I saw that. Congratulations. That is.
Thanks.
You've been sweeping up quite a few of those types of awards. You have the Post Bulletin one?
Next, it's going to be the Emmys. Okay, maybe not. I'm getting carried away.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. We're really excited.
So we have just spent a few minutes saying, call Robin, call Robin, call Robin. How do I call Robin?
So, anytime, call my cell phone, 507-259-4926. Text me if you prefer to do that. You can always find our website and learn more about our group and all of the members of the Gwaltney Group. So that's gwaltneygroup.com, or if you just Google my name, you'll find how to reach me.
Right at the very top of the list, that's for sure.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Robin, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to all.
And we'll talk to you again next week. Robin,
sounds great.
Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results here on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Mayo Clinic Radio on the House.